Hi friends, and welcome back. I did a poll on my community tab for mousse or my chocolate buttercream cake. You can switch up the icing, and that's what I'm coming at you today with. You could do this for Valentine's Day for your sweetheart. You could do this for someone's birthday. It is an amazing cake. So I pretty much measured everything out. And we got snow here today. What was the likelihood of that happening? Okay, so very quickly, let's do this. 2.5 cups all-purpose flour, 1.5 cups of good cocoa powder, 2 1/4 teaspoons baking soda, half teaspoon of salt, 2 sticks of butter at room temperature, cup of sugar, 1 cup of light brown sugar packs, 3 eggs, 3 teaspoons vanilla extract, 1.5 cups of buttermilk, 3/4 cups of sour cream, 3 tablespoons of brewed coffee. You could do this in a 12 and 8, like a 12 by 18 cookie sheet at 350, and then it's up to you. You could do buttercream icing. You could do cream cheese icing, but let's get into making this because wait till you see how full the bowl gets on the KitchenAid. So let me just move it closer, because I have a lot of my ingredients already measured out. Reach up. And my coffee, it's espresso. If you know about espresso, it doesn't wing you out. It just emphasizes the flavor of the chocolate. It is so decadent and so good. Figured I would bring this to you for Valentine's Day. Okay, I'm going to have to keep an eye on my battery, because this outlet keeps acting up every time I want to charge my camera into here. So we will do the best we could do. And let's get this off. And let's get the KitchenAid plugged in. So this is amazing. I've been making this for years. And everyone loves it. And it's always their go-to to ask me, oh, can you make your chocolate cake? Okay, well, here we go. So let's find the plug for this. See what's going on with this outlet plug. So if that comes on, then that came on. Huh. Okay, so what we have to start off doing is we're going to cream the butter and the sugars at high speed until light, approximately 5 minutes. So let me get the butter open. I'm using a paddle attachment. I will zoom you in. Adjust you. I don't know why the outlet's acting up. I'm going to go in with its 2 sticks of butter at room temperature. Leave that for a reason. And then let's get the second one in there. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to beat the butter first, and then I'm going to add the sugars just really quickly, because this kitchen's usually very cold. Just kind of wanted to get it started. Now we're going to go in with our white sugar, which I have measured out here, and that's 1 cup white sugar going in, and our brown sugar was 1 cup of light brown sugar packed. Oh, we just lost a little bit. Yes, we just lost a smidge. So I'm going to go in with a tiny bit more because it fell over. Perfect. And now we're going to get, oh, we lost a lot. Klutzy me. Today's video, you will be seeing the Marry Me chicken. Okay. Now we're supposed to cream the butter and the sugars. High speed until light, approximately 5 minutes. So let's get started on that. I'll start it off slow so it doesn't fly everywhere. And then we'll turn it up until this gets light and creamy. This is the, can you see this? I made my own buttermilk, so let it sit there and coagulate, which is basically just soured milk. It's making a lot of noise these days. I'm going to let that go until it gets a little light. 5 minutes. Okay, so that looks pretty light to me. Not too bad. I'm going to get a scraper. And we're going to get this off the paddle. Just go for the middle to make sure nothing's stuck to the middle. Okay. So that's that step. There are a few steps in this, but it is worth it. And then we are going to go in with 3 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Vanilla extract, pure. So let's go in with that. And then I need makes a big cake, so it uses a little bit more vanilla. Okay. And then we're going to put this down. We're going to start adding the eggs in. I brought you closer. We're going to start adding the eggs in one at a time. This recipe requires 3 extra large eggs, and I'm going to make do with my chicken eggs. And if I feel like it needs another one, I should be able to tell. So that's our 3 eggs and our vanilla. We're going to let that mix. Okay, now what we need to do, let me turn you this way, which you might end up seeing my wire. I'm sorry. Let's see what I could do with this wire. Okay. We have to add the sour cream, the buttermilk, and the coffee. So it is usually better just to add it in. So buttermilk, I made myself. We're going to get the 3/4 cups of sour cream in here. Just makes it easier to pour because you're going to alternate wet and end with dry. Get it all out of there. We're going to give it a little bit of a mix. Mixing it into the buttercream. And then as far as the coffee is concerned, I'm using an espresso because it really makes it so rich and decadent. So we're going to be combining the buttermilk, sour cream, and the coffee on low speed. So, sorry about the noise, but It's real over here. Now we need, how much? Let's see. This is freshly brewed. And we need 3 tablespoons. 1, 2, the extra I'll just put in my coffee. 3, and a splash for good luck. Okay. No, it won't do anything to you. It won't speed your kids out. It just basically enhances the chocolate flavor. Give it a quickie mix. And we are done with that part. And then that's what it looks like. And then what we're going to do, turn you back around, and I will move my cord again. We're going to get ready to start alternating the ingredients. So, combine the buttermilk, sour cream, and the coffee on low speed. So basically you're going to do wet, dry, wet, dry. So in my dried ingredients, I have my 2½ cups of all-purpose flour. I do have 1½ Yeah, let me do that before I forget. I want to sift it. So, glad I just thought of that. Let me get a bigger bowl here. And see if we could do this without creating a mess. So let me point you up. I don't have the oven preheated yet or anything like that. What I want to do, so in my flour I have salt, baking soda, which is right here. And I think I'm going to try maybe this one, or we could do the one that turns, just not sure if I'm going to be able to fit it all. So let's start with trying to get this in there. Take your time. You don't want to lose any. Get your flour in. Most of it out of there. And then we're going to start sifting this. Mix the flour, the salt, and the baking soda like I previously stated. Now what I'm going to start doing is even this out. And I'm going to start putting the cocoa powder in, which we might end up in a mound of smoke. I'm just trying to take my time so I don't lose any of the ingredients that I measured out. Whoops. Like that. Takes just a minute, but it's worth doing it. Okay. And then slowly definitely needs to be sifted. So that's why I'm taking the time to do it. Just makes an overall better product. And in case you have clumps, we'll use this to get those last few little bit pieces in there. Oh. Okay. Done. Didn't use this, so I'll put that back. Okay. Made a tiny bit of a mess, but nothing real serious. I'm sorry if you weren't seeing me just sifting it. That's all that you missed. And now you can take a spoon and just lightly, I keep having cocoa powder flying everywhere, but you're not baking unless you're making somewhat of a mess. Okay. Put this up, and now we're going to start wet and ending with dry. So that's the sifted salt, baking soda, flour, cocoa powder. Let me turn you around. Fix yours all up here. You'll be a little bit closer to the KitchenAid this time. And watch when you see how full this gets. Don't panic. Okay. So we combined the buttermilk, sour cream, coffee on low speed. We're going to start adding, it says coffee on low speed, add flour, mixture, buttermilk, mixture in thirds. Okay, beginning with buttermilk, ending with flour. So let's turn this on. I don't want to have it on too high because it will start splashing everywhere. And I think I'm going to use a cup so I don't make a humongous mess. Wasn't exactly a full cup, but let it mix. And then with a little bit more buttermilk sour cream mixture. I'm going to turn this off for a second because I want to add a full cup of the dry and not lose any. You could turn this into cupcakes, I guess, if you wanted to. I'm just alternating it. And I think I want to stop at this halfway point and give it a scrape down. But this bowl usually gets pretty full. If I am talking a little bit quieter, we got snow here today. So Gina's working from home upstairs. We've been pretty warm and I was very surprised to see snow. Try to get in the middle, scrape the sides thoroughly, at least once. As long as you get your ingredients out, I would say in advance, it's pretty easy to pull it together. and it's delish. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with mixing this. Forgot where I ended off, but that's okay. And at the end with flour. Give it a good mix. I'm going to scrape the rest of this out of this bowl. So we get it all out. And then we end with the flour and cocoa powder. And that's it. Let that go. Turn it up. Scrape it down. One last scrape to get it that all off the sides. The cocoa powder, flour. One last mix. Oh my goodness. I literally just, oh, it's so good. Okay. So that is all that jazz. And I'm going to just let it sit for a minute. Let me figure out what cookie sheet I'm using, and then I'll bring it back. Okay, so I just washed up dishes. Normally I put this in an industrial size baking sheet. What I'm thinking about doing this time, since it's Valentine's Day, is maybe... Let me show you the pans and I'll figure it out. Okay, so let me show you. I have this, let me back you up. I have this pan from Pioneer Woman, that's higher sides, and then I have two regular cake-sized pans. So this will be something new for me because I normally, like I said, make it in a sheet pan, but I wouldn't have any way to really store it here. So I was thinking bottom layer and maybe a top. Let's just go with that. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn you around. Oh yeah, I wanted to add that coffee into my coffee. I could trace one of those out. I don't know if there's any more left. Let me go look for more parchment paper. Okay, so I picked up this. It's unbleached, compostable parchment paper. And let's see how it goes. Because I want to measure. And how you measure. Put your piece down, turn your pan upside down. And then we're going to get a marker. Don't mind if it folds up. Or you can use a pen. Put it pretty centered. You can also fold it. Well, I can't really see that, so this pen must be dead. Let's use a pencil. There you go. And then we can cut that out. So that's that pan. Let's rip another piece. Do the same identical thing to the regular cake pans. What you could do is take scissors and cut that out. I don't always use parchment paper because I'm pretty secure with getting my baked goods out. But this is really, really good. Great for Valentine's. So let's put a little extra effort. Okay. If I need an extra one, then I will mark out another one. In the meantime, I'm just going to cut that with scissors and I'll bring it back. Oh no. I was cutting this one for the big one, and I think I just cut it for the wrong one, but let's try. No, that's pretty good. That'll work. Okay. Now I have one more to cut out. Okay, I finally have the papers cut, which is throwing me off a little bit because, do I need to say it again? I don't normally do it in this type of pan. I'm going to spray the pan. Put my paper down, which will hold it still. Like so. Do the same to this one. It doesn't matter if it's a little overlap, that's fine. So if you don't want to go through all this, put it in a cookie sheet. Good to go. Okay. Here's the pans. Ready. Okay. Oh, I think I got chocolate all up my white shirt. Alright, let's take the pans down this end. And let's see if we're going to need the third pan, which would turn it into a 3-tier cake. When it's on a cookie sheet, you let it cool, and then you just ice it right over top of it. And everybody can take a wedge of it. But since I'm trying to make it a little bit more special for Valentine's Day, but the size of the cookie sheet you would use is a 12 by 18. That's pretty big. So yeah. Okay. Let's get a paddle. I want to try to be as even as possible. I'm just going to give this a slight little spray on the sides. And then I like to go over it with a paper towel. If you've been here for a while, you've kind of seen me do this before. I just like to take the excess off. Voila. Easy peasy. Let's get a scraper. And let's give this a scrape. And we will have to see, my friends, if I'm going to need, and I'm trying to get to the middle, make sure nothing's stuck. Let's get most of this off the batter. If I need another pan, I'll just set up another pan like so. Alrighty, let's get this off. And my goodness gracious, if you could only smell it in here, and that's starting to drip. So It's so rich and chocolatey. It's beyond words. All right, I want to make sure you could see. Let's go with this pan first. We're just going to start putting some in there. That's a little high. We will put the rest in this deeper cake pan. Can't really tell you the size because I don't remember. It's by Pioneer Woman. I don't want that to overflow. When you put this in a cookie sheet, you just dump it all in there, even it out, give it a bang, and bake it. Speaking of baking it, I did not even turn the oven on. So good. Okay, we need to, let's see, where's it at? 350. Let's start preheating the oven to 350. Let me wash my hands. Okay, then what I usually do, it has a bunch of bubbles. Bang them out. Even it around. Which that's not going all the way over. So let's fix that. Just making it as even as possible. I think I might do, I don't know. It says I can either do the buttercream. I'm thinking cream cheese. That's what I'm thinking. So now we have to let the oven preheat. Don't take your eyes off of these. And good bang. If you see more bubbles, just get the bubbles out. Like so. Should be good to go. Looking even Steven. We're gonna make a gorgeous little Valentine's Day sweet treat. Okay, so I gave you an option. You can use buttercream icing, which is what I normally do when I make it in a sheet pan, but I'm going to do cream cheese icing. I'm just in the mood for it. So I have you high up. I just went out to go give the chickens some snow. 2 8 ounces of room temperature cream cheese. I tried to have it out for a little bit. Let's see. There's a big block. It's a big block of cream cheese. So I'll need 2 8 ounces of that because I want to finish that up. And then 3 sticks of butter, room temperature, teaspoon pure vanilla. You can do a half a teaspoon of almond extract, and 4 1/4, 4 1/2 pounds of confectioner's sugar on the paddle attachment. So let's get you lowered here a little bit. And I need a sharp knife to cut that cream cheese. Let me take this off. Cakes are looking good. By the time we get the icing done, they should be coming out. We shall see. So, I need 8 ounces. They sell this in the big block at Sam's. So I want to use it up because I bought other ones. So, paddle attachment. Washed everything, dried everything, put everything away. you take the paper off. And this will be 1/8 ounce. And then 2 8-ounces. And let me wash my hands. And then 3 sticks, because it's 3/4 a pound, so that equals out to 3 sticks of butter. And I've had butter out room temperature. So let's get 3 butters in the bowl. I was going to hold on to these because I was going to butter my cookie sheet, but changed my mind. The littler pan that's in the oven, I might have to check now because that might be done faster than the other pan. And we'll be making like a 2-tier cake. I don't know if Jean has a cake holder here. Mine's in storage. So I don't know how pretty I can make it look because of that. That's 3. And let's check our cakes. That is my Coco Chanel. She's my gardening, gotta be in the kitchen kind of dog. Okay, let's test that. That's done. And this one is not. So, excuse me, Coco. So this one here is done. We're going to get that out. Rotate that. And let that go for a little bit longer. In the meantime, we get to get the icing done. Let me grab this real fast, folks. Oh, I need a miracle. That's what I need. Okay. Let's put this over on here to cool. And then we'll let the other one go for a bit. But that's a lot of butter, a lot of cream cheese. But it is going to be worth it. Okay. Blend the cream cheese and butter. Okay, I need vanilla. Teaspoon vanilla. I'm just going to eyeball it. And like I said, you can do some almond extract. Let me look and see if there is any. I don't always use almond extract in this recipe, but I'm going to go super shy on it. Just a little bit. Because it could take over. A little bit. We're going to get ready to start creaming that together. And then we're going to blend the cream cheese, the butter, and the vanilla. And then we'll add the confectionery sugar until it's smooth. So let's get this going. Because it's a lot in there. So it's going to make it work. And I tell you, the kitchen's always cold. This butter's been out for 2 days. Oh boy. Let's get a scraper. Just take your time. Push it down. I didn't want to put it in the microwave because then it would have melted too much. Every time it comes up the bowl, just push it down. But I cleaned this all out from what we just made. So we're just gonna work with it. My big KitchenAid's in storage. KitchenAid is banging. I'm gonna have to have it looked at. See why it's doing that. And we wanna get it off the paddle. But not right now. Let's just get this working. Okay, let's push this down. Don't worry. It will come together. It's just cold here today, like I said. And I did have it at room temperature. Cream cheese wasn't exactly at room temperature, but it is okay. It will come together. Push that down. And let's keep going. You could start turning it up. And then we'll have to keep scraping it. Oops, we just lost our paddle. Oh, goodness gracious. It's because it's weighing it down. Let's see if I could scrape a lot of this off. Well, first of all, let's pull this out. Let's get a lot of this off the paddle. What I do try to tell you is this kitchen is one cold kitchen. So let me get this back on. It is locked. And we're just going to have to have patience and work with it. Now that I dirtied it up again. Got it all over my fingers. Okay, we're gonna let that go for a few minutes. Okay, it's starting to look a little bit better. Turn it up. Sorry about the noise. And now we're gonna scrape it one more time. But it's starting to all combine. I'm making my KitchenAid a mess. If you wanted this to be chocolate on chocolate, you could. I'm not going to do that because that cake is going to be so rich and chocolatey. You're not going to need it. Okay, let's see if we can scrape this sides down a little bit. And continue to work with it. Okay, I'll bring you back when that's almost done. Okay. Takes a few when your ingredients are not at room temperature. But we're getting there. So I'm going to scrape that down again. Okay, I had to stop to take that cake out because it was coming out that it was clean. And this is just starting to come together. Okay, let me show you how this is coming together now. Almost there. Took a little bit of work. Things weren't room temperature, but watch. It's so much more creamier. Let's give it a scrape while our cakes are cooling. Look at that. Just about there, so we can put the confectionery sugar in. So I want to get it all off the paddle, and then I'll have to measure out the confectionery sugar. And this, my friends, is definitely a cake worth making. Your kiddos, your husband, Valentine's Day, birthday, anytime actually, it's so good. You can see how it's scraping away from the bowl. Okay. I'm going to let that mix for another minute. I'm going to get the confectionery sugar out. Okay, so we need confectionery sugar. 1.5 pounds confectionery sugar, which is about 4 1/4, 4.5. Let's see if I can get this open without making a mess. I should just dump it in my other container. So we will make do. I'm just using regular confectionery powdered sugar. I don't need this knife anymore. Guess I could back you up some, can't I? Okay. I gotta get ready to dump my cakes out momentarily. I didn't think it wanted us to get into that bag. Okay. So we need 4.5 cups. I don't like it uber sweet, but you know, one of those icings where it's like too sweet. I don't like it like that, so we'll taste it as we go along. But we're going to start off with 3 cups. And we're going to have to go uber slow. And I need some of this for another recipe, I'm pretty sure. So we're going to go in with 1. And then just start mixing it. Okay, that's 2 in there. And now we're going to taste it. It's 2 cups. And I'm trying to scrape the bowl as I go along. So let's get a little teaspoon and see how it tastes, because I don't want it uber sweet. So that's pretty good. I'm going to go in with 1 more and call that done. Actually, that seems like a lot. I'm going to go in with half. And then I'll taste it again. And I'll scrape the bowl and everything down. Now that I got it on my paddle. Okay, let's scrape off the paddle. And you can see it's a lot more smoother. May have a little bit of lumps because everything was so cold, but that's okay. It's made with love. And let's mix her up. Okay, let's scrape. Can you hear my chickens? I gave them a thing of snow today, which is practically all gone. And we were almost in a whiteout earlier this morning. So, mix her up. You don't have to worry about mixing this one too long because it's just butter, vanilla, lemon extract, cream cheese. You want to get it pretty smooth. That tastes really good. You either want to taste some of the cream cheese or you want to just taste powdered sugar. So I'm going to let that sit for a minute and let's go over to the cake, shall we? Jean just left to go to her job. I didn't get a chance to ask her if she had anything for me to put it on. So, maybe I can use a cookie sheet. You have to think outside the box. Oh, gosh darn it. Cookie sheet was in the oven. So I'm going to let it cool. Because I want to dump my cakes out. And maybe I'll look around and see if there's something I could put it on. Okay, I just retasted it. And I just went in with like a 1/4 cup more of confectionery sugar. This is done. I think I'm going to look around and see if I can find something to put these cakes on so they look somewhat pretty. It's hard to do this type of stuff in someone else's house. Okay. I would say that is good. Might be a few lumps of cream cheese, but that's okay. It's all gonna taste great. Okay. You washed my hands. I'm gonna go look for something to put this on. Okay, the only thing I could find is that. No, I didn't even see a lid. Let's try to start getting the cakes out of the pan. Okay, let's get a butter knife or a knife. I'm just gonna sit that there because I'm really stumped. Just running it around it. Once. And then, bingo. Take your paper off. Like so. What I'm going to do is sit it back in the pan until I get that ready. So, it was my stuff. I have a real big one and it has the lid. So, I don't know. I might have to hide it till tomorrow. So let's go in with a little bit of what I like to call the glue. Let me back you up to there. And then I'll bring you in a little bit closer. And let's start assembling this. So I'm just going to take a little dab, like the glue, put it right in the middle. I'm going to put the smaller piece on the bottom. No worries, if you get any crumbs, you can always wipe them up. let's get this even. Give it a little push. Now, I use an offset spatula, and I don't think Jean has one. I think we went through this before. So, I'm going to do the best I can do with decorating it, because there's not a spin table here or anything like that. So, let's find a flat butter knife. Let's check to see if it's too warm. No, it's not too bad. Okay, so that's the glue. Hopefully you can see. Right there. As a matter of fact, I'm going to bring in. Now that's better. Now, we're just going to do the best we could do with a butter knife. I'm going to put a pretty big dollop on here. Of our cream cheese icing. And then we're just going to take our time, spread it out to the edge, because nobody's really going to see this part. And this is why I have to keep turning it by hand. You should have a cake turntable. But you make do with what you have, right? Okay, so like I said, this is the bottom. Do you ever get a piece of cake where there's not much filling in the middle? You definitely want to make sure that you have enough in the middle so it's equal. Just spread it around. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go in with the next piece. So let's run a knife around it. I don't think this one is cool enough exactly. So I'm going to let that sit. I might even put it outside on the table because it's cold out there. I'm going to let that cool, clean up, and I'll bring it back and we'll finish assembling it. Okay, I decided to put the other cake in the refrigerator while I washed up some dishes. So let's see if it's cool enough. Whoa. That's an accident waiting to happen. Not the end of the world. Gentle. There we go. Okay. Now I can't use foil over the top of it because it'll rip all the icing off, but if this was my place, I would have all my own stuff. I'm just eyeballing it to make sure it looks good. You can put parchment paper on here if you don't want it to get dirty, but I don't think I'm going to be all that particular. Look at that. And I'm so used to doing it, like I said, on a cookie sheet, but this is looking amazing. Let me check and see if I have a few little couple surprises put on the top that I won't tell you about just yet. Alright, let's see. Let's get the top icing. And then God help me because I don't know where I'm putting this. So they don't eat it all. Tater tot casserole. I gave 2 pieces to my niece and her husband who has bone cancer. And I came back in and the whole casserole that was meant for them was gone. So, let's pull this forward. Stand back, make sure it looks good. And let's get this icing. Okay, I think we could take this out for now. And if I need to scrape it to get more out, I will. But I should have made enough. And I make a lot of racket around here. So, welcome to my channel. Oh, goodness. Okay, I'm going to raise you up. Because we are going to get rocking and rolling and decorate this chocolate espresso cake. It cracks me up when people are like, oh, espresso. Well, look into it. Espresso and coffee just makes the dessert so much more decadent. It's amazing. Okay. I guess I could use that spatula a few more minutes and put a big dollop on. But it's my first time at this particular cake of making it in 2 different size pans. I think I was feeling that much better. Make it a little bit more Valentine's Day related. You can make this for a birthday cake. Whatever you want. But this turning it, I just try to let it, I bring it to the sides the best I can. And then you'll see when it's all done, we'll make it look as pretty and as festive as possible. And then now we can start getting some on the side of the cake. The whole thing will be covered by the time I'm done. I've done much better work than this. But I don't have my own tools, so. But this will be yummy and delicious. But like I said, you can put parchment paper around the stand. I'm just surprised I even found one cake stand here. She don't really cook or bake. And I'm trying to put out as many videos as possible before I have to leave here. So it'll give you all something to watch unless I bring you along on the journey, because I have not gotten a place yet. And I might have to stay, not might, I most likely will be staying in my SUV, Pennsylvania, where it's still nice and cold. It's very unfortunate. No worries, if you miss something, you can always go over it, and I hope my arm is not in your way. Don't like using this butter knife, but that's what it is. So you could make that Marry Me chicken you'll be seeing on the channel, which will originated from Ina Garden, and then make a little pasta with it. make this as dessert, and I would be so happy if somebody did this for me. I'd be very happy and content and satisfied. You have to just be grateful. Food is my love language, so I like feeding people. I love baking. I just love feeding people and knowing how much they like it. That's probably why I did go to baking school and did a little bit of culinary. Culinary was just like a knack for me. So we're going to have to put this in the fridge for a few minutes, I can tell you that. But I am going around it now and checking the bottom to make sure. And I'm not really worried if some gets on the plate. I'm not worried about that. Just want to make sure when you turn it all the way around that the whole bottom is covered. And then you could come in and smooth it out, make it look fancy. Maybe this will be the treat to myself for Valentine's Day. My favorite cake, one of my favorite cakes. What's that saying? Someone would be ever so lucky to have me. Okay, let's go around and check the bottom. See if we missed any of the bottom layer of the cake. You can always take some from the top, push it down. You get the idea. And I feel like when some people mess up, they say, well, I wanted it rustic looking. And that's A-okay, because you know what? These people are more willing to learn today and try to make things from scratch. And I think that's absolutely amazing. Some people won't even attempt to make anything homemade or from scratch or anything like that. So kudos. This is not expensive to make at all. So I have a funny feeling that'll be the next comment I get. It's not expensive. And I did buy everything to make the mousse. We'll see if I get it out in time to be able to post it. I'm one person and I'm going through a lot over here, so. Okay, so this does not look the greatest at the moment. So we're going to pop it in the fridge, and then I will bring it out and just smooth it up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to put that in the fridge, bring it back, and I'll just clean it up. Okay, I pulled it back out of the refrigerator, and I might have to put this downstairs because it can barely fit on the shelf. So, I don't want to be too uber particular with it. So I'm just going to put a dollop, and I had to put my thing on because it's freezing. I want to use this up. And I had to clean the KitchenAid because, whew, it had some cream cheese all over it. So now I'm just going to put that extra bit on the top. Like I said, I don't really have a way to smooth it out to make it look amazing. I wanted it to cool a little bit more. I'm basically just taking it down the side, the extra on the top. I did say if the cream cheese isn't completely room temperature, it may look a little lumpy, but that's okay. Finished smoothing this out. I had to just take a call because I'm missing a package. So should I say my cake is going to look a little rustic? Oh, goodness gracious. Offset spatulas work wonders for things like this. And my dog is hanging around hoping I'll sling some cream cheese icing. So you can make this for your loved ones, your kiddos, your mom. I made this in cupcake form years ago for my kids' bake-off. And the teachers were like, you don't have to wait for a special occasion, Mrs. Rose. You can send them in whenever you want. Okay. Let me wash my hands again. Now, if you have people that, just want to eat the stuff that you make, you can put little pieces of chocolate so you could see where to slice it. So I'm just going to do the best I can on what I have. I didn't see really anything red. Let me double check. Let's see. We had some sprinkles. And I think I'm going to go with this. Let me move this out of your way. That's how much was left. So let's see. Can we make this into a heart? I don't know. Might not exactly work. I also have some Hershey Kisses where you don't even have to take the paper off. Give it a slight little push, and plus it'll be your guide on how to cut your pieces of cake. So let's see. And then I had these. And I think I'm not going to do anything fancy with them. I'm just going to stick them. However, just to spruce it up a little bit for Valentine's. We could go in with another red one there. And I can always add some more on. But there you have it. There is my Valentine's Day cake. And I hope you try the recipe because it's absolutely amazing. I didn't make this into a heart, but I am pushing it down a little bit. But there you go. It looks cute, a little festive. I'm going to put a few more on there. And that's it. That's my recipe for today. This is my chocolate espresso cake. Usually done in a professional sheet pan, made into thinner layer on the bottom, thicker layer on the top with cream cheese icing. So let me get a little picture. And there you have it. I hope that you give this recipe a try. I hope that you have a blessed Valentine's. And check out the video, if you have not already seen it, of the Marry Me chicken. Supposedly, if you make that, you may get a proposal. I made dinner for my husband, and it wasn't even that recipe, and I won my husband over, through the pit of his stomach. You know how that goes, ladies. But I love you all, and yeah, not too bad. Okay, friends, have a blessed, wonderful day, a wonderful Valentine's Day. And you can show love any time of the year. It doesn't have to just be on Valentine's, but great cake, great in a sheet pan, and I absolutely love it and cannot wait to have a piece. So thank you for joining me. If you're new here, maybe think about subscribing. I would greatly appreciate it, trying to build up my channel. And yeah, we will love to have you over here. So on that note, love yous, stay safe, and I'll catch yous on the next one. Happy Valentine's. Bye, friends.